Hopefully people can hear us okay.
We are a one-hit wonder.
We good?
And
Okay, cool. So world premiere of us being able to sit down with Robert, who is the director of
Specialty Applications,
aka Solvent for Extraction. Okay, so biomass
extraction solvents.
Okay, from Diversified, which many of the suppliers in all of North America that distribute gas get it from you.
Historically, yes, we have been manufacturing the instrument purity 99.5 and above. That's been used within the industry for many years, and we go through a distribution network to get it out to the extractors.
So Diversified saw our gas panel on YouTube, and they wanted to be able to help us identify where in the chain of custody contamination is occurring. Is it at the refinery level, which is Diversified? Is it at the supplier level, which we've all been talking about, Solvent Direct and Gas Innovations, and everybody that supplies any gas in North America comes from this refinery? Or is it occurring on the end user level, which would be the extractors, right? So we're trying to isolate and then identify what exactly it is that's creating contamination in our solvent. And both members of ASTM,
Correct.
In which we've been so heavily encouraged to join, to be able to create standards that for the purity of the gas that would come to extractors, so that we make sure that what we're all putting in our bodies and what we're selling to people that they're putting in their bodies is free of contaminants that could be dangerous to our body, right? So yeah. Robert saw this gas panel and he was like, you know what? I really want to be able to get in and I identify alongside of us. What I love is that he's not saying this isn't happening here. He's not pointing the other direction, just like a lot of other people we're watching pointing the other direction right now. He's saying,
well, that's not helpful.
If there is, it's not helpful. If there is a problem, I'll solve it. Okay.
Check out the bee while Jane revolves it.
So, yeah, okay, so you have oh my God, you have on clouds too?
Oh, yeah.
We were just talking about this. All you Nike people, if you're in the know, you can walk 7.3 miles in these bad boys and still be standing by the end. So, okay, so you saw what we were doing, you got involved, and your goal was to be able to make...
Well, we just want to, I understand that, look, we got some background music. I understand that, we might be a bit of a mystery to a lot of people, right? That we've been in the background, but it's to, we manufacture these gases to a high purity for a reason.
And you've been doing that before extraction, haven't you?
Correct.
Like before there were people coming to you with a demand for extraction solvent.
Correct.
You guys were doing this for what? For pharmaceutical?
So we're historically a propellant company, but we also manufacture high standards for research and all that for research instrumentation.
For like people that make pharmaceuticals, or
for any part of any kind of industry, any analytical lab. So we make propane up to 99.999%. We make right. And isobutane, butane, all up to very high levels.
So you make all of them, not just one?
Correct.
Okay.
And by make, I mean, I want to explain that, we bring in, selected feedstocks from refineries that we find to be acceptable in all the contaminant levels. Then we run it through our system, which is fractionators, as well as hydrogenation units, mole sieves. So this isn't an accident. We are purposely manufacturing a product that is high purity for the consumers, and we want to make sure that it stays that way all the way down to the consumer.
We were talking about that yesterday, that no crude is created equal, that there are standards, just like your standards of eggs or your standards of honey, or like all kinds of things in what the makeup is, and then like is there anything that the process that would dictate the type of feedstock that you're talking about, or like under what conditions do you choose it, that it's already cleaner when it came to you?
And that's not me. We have professionals within our company that their job is to find the best feedstock for our manufacturing process to ensure that you're making the product.
They're a buyer. They're a buyer essentially. Like they're buying. They're going through what looks good and what tests well, and they like. So,
and that's another part. We quality control from the beginning of beginning of the process when we purchase all the way to the end when we manufacture the product. In between, through all the different steps, we're quality controlling through our analytical lab and procedures. So
within Diversified, there is a chain of custody.
Correct.
And a chain of control or something like that?
Yes, quality control.
Okay, through every single step.
Yep, we are ISO 9001 certified. So we have to follow rigorous standards that we are checked on. And
what were we talking about yesterday? That every feedstock that is brought in gets tested, no matter what, at every single process?
Yeah.
Is it like steps in refinery?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I know what we bring in, and then what we process.
Okay.
So.
All right.
We have a question.
Okay.
Where do you think contaminants are being introduced?
Where do you think contaminants are being introduced? I like that look.
I mean, there's a lot of different places contaminants can be introduced. So we call it different touching of the gas.
Different touching.
Yeah. So like I just said, we manufacture our gas to a high standard, a high purity, and we have dedicated trailers, we have dedicated hoses and everything that we transport, dedicated transports that we transport our gas to our distributors, who then package it and then send it out to the customers.
Okay.
So within all those steps, there's plenty of different chances where a contaminant could be introduced. And it could be something as simple as the contaminant could be already existing in some place and then reintroduced back into the environment.
Okay.
That's the only question so far.
Thanks for that question, wherever you are.
Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
Oh, see, Tyler.
Was, has had some issues in the past.
The mineral oil, that test came from Tyler.
Okay.
You know the one that Dr. Randy was discussing?
Yeah, from the HashFight, from
panel?
your gas panel.
Yeah. That sample came from Tyler.
Good.
One of the suppliers.
And we understand that's kind of why we're here at MJBizcon, why we're talking to Propane J. It's that we want to understand better what the end user is experiencing, so that we can make sure from our end that it's not coming from us, and so that we can help find out where it's coming from. Because at the end of the day, I want the gas that we make, that we try very hard and work very hard to make, to be the exact same gas you get when you process.
That's it. That is it. And I love that they're getting involved to want to solve problems out of you wanting to be the best version that you can be. Right? Like, so that's true. Of that fighting for higher standards. Like, we're just going to keep.
We have to help each other. There's no reason not to, especially in this space, which I've learned. I call it a house of cards of butane extraction. All it takes is a couple bad things to there's other extraction methods.
Yeah. It could really bring a lot of unwanted outside noise that people could
It's an election year next year.
I have to, like, seriously, okay? We're not doing ourselves any favors. Okay, another question.
From the distributor's perspective, who sell to us,
Uh-huh.
you know, how would this contaminant present itself into their systems if they think that their systems are clean?
The distributor, if the distributor thinks that they've done the work to fully ensure that there is no contamination happening at their touch point, right? That how would that be introduced?
How would it be introduced if they're?
Then I don't want to go down the scale, but then it could go down to
the end user, the extractor?
Is the packager selling to an end user, or is the packager then selling to, another wholesaler
that then goes to an end user?
Then goes end user who, I don't know if they're going to open up that tank or do anything, and then down to the end user where, accidents happen, things happen. You could have
a tank gets switched.
A tank could get switched. A filler could fill the wrong thing into a tank. They could send the wrong tank to a person. Accidents happen, and I think it just needs to be where, accidents happen, and we got to figure it out and move forward to figure it out. But to that point, there could be contamination anywhere. Hoses, your own transfer hoses.
100%.
Your own transfer hoses, your own system, and I know none of you want to hear that, but I mean.
Oh no, that's literally where we all started. We all started with, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
There has to be something in my system.
Yeah.
And then after them doing everything that they could to clean it, they were still having problems. So then they went to the gas.
Yep.
And then the gas went to the crude, right?
And everybody started yelling, it's the plants.
People pointing at, it's what's in your garden, or it's the way that you clean your cylinders.
And the truth is, there could be many factors.
Exactly. Maybe it's not just one thing.
Maybe it's the gas in combination with something that's creating something bad.
I think it's reacting.
It could be reactive.
Because it looks like it's reacting, right? So, yeah.
How do we explain things like mineral oil?
Oh, yeah. How do we explain? So if anybody was watching the gas panel, Dr. Randy and Julia were talking about the NMR results and the idea that the substance that they found in the distillation, calling it a butane residue, was mimicking structurally mineral oil, and trying to get to the bottom of how could that be introduced in even before it gets to you. How is it possible that could be introduced, or would that be filtered out?
We do again 2-stage fractionation. We have very large fractionation units. We're getting rid of all volatile and heavy, and getting our unsaturates down to such a low level that it's not. I don't want to say it's not possible. These things are in there,
sure,
but in some respects, it's not possible. Some of that stuff's in there. After our
possible but not probable. Right? If there's a 1 in a gazillion chance, it's possible.
Yeah, that's true.
But probably not.
Probably not.
So where would mineral oil be introduced?
Since and I'm glad you brought that up,
yes,
Simon. Since that HashFight, I have been trying to. Yeah, you can't see him; he's behind the camera. Yeah. Since then, I have been looking in to try to figure out where that. I have nothing conclusive yet.
Yeah, because if you don't know what to look for, you don't know where to look, right?
Well, you just got to start trying to. I've been, with ourselves as well as our quality team. We care, and so we want to figure out if it's not, even if it's not, I don't want to say coming from us. We want to try to figure out down the chain of custody where it's happening.
Yeah, I think it's something really good to know that you are watching and that you're like, hold on, we want to know more about what the extractors are experiencing. And what I really appreciate about what we're all doing is that, and HashFight being just a really open platform like that people feel safe to come to us. Well, then we're going to present that information. It's not hiding it. It's saying, hey guys, I'm having a problem, and it takes that actual extractor to be humble and say, hey, I'm having a problem. It starts with you, the extractor, right? Them saying, hey, I'm having this issue. Okay, well, let's like make that a little more public, right? And some people still in confidence that don't want to be identified, but are still willing to contribute their pictures and their experiences and their data points of everything that they do in their lab to help all of us collectively as a community identify where this contamination is happening. And somebody like Diversified, the refinery for where we're all getting things, they're saying, hey, we want to know more about what you guys do so that we can find out if this is in here. And that says so much about you and your company.
Well, I appreciate it. And we're working, through you as well as through our distributors. We are working with them as well to try to figure it out. So,
all right, cool. Anything else? He's going to be on our next gas panel, right? We're trying to get some more
tests. You
found
me, so.
We're trying to get you found us.
That's true.
You found us, okay? But
I had to compliment you. It was a great panel.
Okay. Yeah, so we love it. Thank you for that. So it was a great panel, but this time we want Diversified on it to be able to just dive even deeper. We're working on some more tests of butane residue that's coming from a few different labs, and our real goal that we're trying to get out there, if anybody knows somebody, maybe you, we're trying to be able to test oil that's coming out of the machine, our concentrate, right? With NMR, to be able to identify what could be in our extracts. So, because for now, what's happening is, even though there's fast crash, that product going out is being tested to make sure that it's safe for consumption, and it's passing with flying colors. But the problem is, if those labs don't know what to look for, they don't know where to look for it, right? So it's a whole thing, and you getting involved and us being able to maybe somebody, get some tests done on oil to make sure that what we're consuming is safe.
Yeah.
What we're consuming is safe so that we can remove it and solve that problem.
Yep.
So thank you for that involvement. So we're going to do another gas panel. I'm thinking maybe mid to end December, maybe. I know it's nuts with the holidays, but you guys will want to be avoiding hanging out with family anyway, and just go in the sunroom with your pen away from everyone and some snacks and watch and get information. Am I right? So yeah, you'll be on our next one with us, and we look forward to having Diversified working with HashFight to get to the bottom of some of these things and create solution. What? Raise the standards, because we're fighting for the higher standard together.
And we look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. Dude, awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Good.
Okay, I want to take